So happy New Year, everybody. Everybody have a good holiday season? Yeah? Oh my gosh, you hear that? Yeah? Yeah? Is everybody like tired or something? That's a couple of days, man. What are we going to do with you? Where's your lovely wife? You left her home? She was cold. Oh, well, it's colder there. But we do have, we're going to be talking about a variety of things. One of the things that I'm pleased to be able to present is going to be our newest acquisition. So I won't apologize, but I will tell you, we've been working on this one for, 5 months. And it's indicative of what's been going on in the market. Things are moving so much slower these days for so many reasons. One of them is debt, of course. You know, everybody is a little apprehensive about what the rates are going to do. And as you know, if you go into contract, you don't immediately lock in on your interest rate. So that's been a problem or a hurdle. I can't even begin to tell you how many things have been slowing things up, but pleased and happy to tell you that we have finally gone into full-on contract and escrow, and we will be presenting, well, Darwin will. I think you're going to be pleased with this. This is a beautiful opportunity. We're being ultra conservative these days of what we're looking at and what we're willing to pull the trigger on. This one specifically, just to give you an idea, we're only going up on our performer rents from existing rents to performer rents. What is it, like 1.2%? I mean, it's nothing. So the deal works with that kind of an increase, and we think we can do even much better on our expenses. But we feel a little more confident on the income side. But on the expenses, I believe we're going to be surprised to the upside what we're going to be able to do. This is going to be a great deal for us. 2016 construction. Well, I won't steal Darwin's thunder, but I'm excited about it. In fact, I'll be there tomorrow. We're going to be shooting some drone video so we can bring you a full-on presentation for it. I've already had a bunch of subscriptions. And so this was going to go fast. It's the first 506B that we've offered in a year since Mercer Park. Mercer Park, which was in late 22. We closed it in early 23. So we've not had a 506B, and everybody is clamoring for, hey, anything for unaccredited, anything for unaccredited. Here it is. So without further ado, Mr. Darwin German.
Thank you, sir. All right, here we go. Welcome to 2024. Good riddance to 2023. Everything was crazy in 2023. Did anybody have a great 2023? Anybody? All right, 2 of us. 3, there you go. All right. It was just so hard getting anything done. As Julian was saying, the mark, we canceled on it 2 or 3 times. We canceled on this one 3 or 4 times and went back and forth. And it's just been a beating. But just to jump right in here, general updates. First and foremost is we are going to switch to quarterly live meetings because it's usually the same people here every month. So, and again, thank you for all that, but that way we'll go do Zoom meetings where everybody can see everybody on Zoom. And that'll be, so we'll have live quarterly, but every month, same time, same bat channel for meetings on Zoom. We're also going to be doing more training this year. Training has been a key issue with all of our team and our staff anyway. Operational changes. We also separated out, there's 2 different sides. There's DGRE and Darkor. Darkor does the property management. DGRE is the acquisitions and asset management. So Darkor really works for DGRE, but now for accounting purposes and internally, we've separated those out. And we really need to become very, very efficient in this market. We talked about staffing, we talked about training, and in a market, in a down market, you really have to be focused on resident retention is absolutely key. Key to resident retention is also employee retention. That's absolutely key in keeping everybody focused on those 2 items. And training is a huge part of it. Having a great team is a part of it. And I think we're lined out very, very well on that. Jenny is not here, but we also have our in-house training with Jenny. And she's going to start doing this Thursday lunch and learns with the managers. So every Thursday they've got education every Thursday. And again, part of that education key point. Really tightening down operationally so that we can be as efficient as we can to get through these difficult times. Unfortunately, it's easy to say when the market's going crazy and everything else, you can afford to be a little sloppy. And so now is really time to really tighten the belts and get everything under control. So we're doing that. Be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful. Everybody knows I've said this 1,000 times because it is a good motto. And when people were the most greedy, 2022, we sold 8 properties, almost half of our portfolio, almost 1,000 units we sold in 2022. We gave back to the investors $61 million in change and provided a 36% per year average annual return to our partners. And that's with sales of.
How many in here participated in this?
How many got money back in 2022 from us?
Don't be
How
shy.
many wanted to? Okay, good. Definitely do that. And that was an average of a 3-year hold on those. So again, I say you can't time the market, but we timed it pretty well. I can't say that was all brilliance on our side, but we knew that some things were coming, interest rates were going to go up. You could see that with all of the spending government was doing, if they'd have to correct it. So we got out of most of those. The only one we have on the agenda is we've got 1 to sell this year. But to show you where those numbers came from, that 30%, 36%, I know you can't read this. It's pretty far back here. But these are all the properties we sold in 2022. We had raised $30 million for these and gave back over $61 million. And that's just of the sales proceeds. That's not even the, that does include cash flow. So overall returns, all the way down here, average of $202,000 for a $100,000 investment. So very good. Now we did have one. We had one that sucked in here. The overall return is not here. 3.58%. That one sucked. That was a horrible property. But we have more wins than losses, and no losses. Just one little subpar deal, but everything else did great. Because what was the highest one up on there? Gold Creek at 80%, 79%. Village Oak, 63%. So really good ones. Brazos, 41%. Brazos, stand up, Ben. Ben was our co-sponsor on that. He headed that one up. So great job, Ben. And that was was that your first co-sponsor deal? First co-sponsor deal makes 43% a year for his investors and partners. So pretty damn good. Let's see, what's next? We had no sales. We did, in 2023, we didn't sell anything. We did purchase Mercer Park and Mustang Ridge. And again, the only reason they were compelling deals. Mercer was a great value add deal. We'll tell you more about that in a minute. And Mustang, a Class A deal at a great price. We ended up paying $70 million for it. It appraised for 78. We were told by the broker that they turned down $110 million December of 2022. So we think we got a great deal on that, low basis, below replacement cost. And of course, our current portfolio. This is one of those things. Who reads the news? Who reads about what's going on in apartments? I know Nikolai does. Okay, question for you. What did they say apartment rents did last year overall? Anybody? Went up, how much? Anybody else? Okay, on a national level, they say rents went down 1.58% on a national level, okay? And even in Dallas, they said rents went down. And I'm looking at our portfolio on our average rent growth, 9.98%. Thank you, team, okay? Our rents went up almost 10%. That's our monthly rent, okay? Collections, the actual amount we put into the bank went up 9.19%. And our NOI grew by 10%. Okay. That's pretty damn good. Okay, considering the market we had in 2023 and all of the problems, we didn't have any debt problems like everybody else does. There's still foreclosures going on. There's still cash calls going on. So we've been through these down cycles, so that helps knowing what it is. We control our own destiny with our own property management. And I am extremely proud of these numbers, extremely proud of the team that did this, putting that together. 10% rent growth. Anybody that says rent's not growing doesn't know what they're talking about. I don't know where they're coming up with their numbers. Again, a national level, but we still grew 10% on our income, average rent growth, collections, and NOI. Okay, so that one is spectacular. Yes, sir.
So when it comes to rent growth, is it more on Class A type of properties or more value add Class C type of properties?
This is on all of the properties across the board.
No, but would you repeat the question, please?
Okay, the question was that on Class A or Class C, or what class was that on? Well, that's for our entire portfolio, which includes, well, Valley Center, that's this office building, so the office building doesn't count on the rent amount. It went from an average of $1,330 to $1,462. This is collected rents. This is the amount on the lease. This is not our market rents or any other bullshit number. This is our November rent for 2022 and then 2023, so 9.98. To answer your question, this is Riverbend. This is in DeSoto, and it's I would call it a C property. 1019, that's in Fredericksburg. Call that a B property. Corners is a B property right next to Riverbend. Oakview is in White Settlement. It's a newer property. I would say it's a newer property, but still a B class apartment. Frankfurt, I'd say Class A. Saginaw is a C. Citadel is a C in a B location. Lakeside was a C. Lakeside was a D in a C location. Okay. Amber Creek and Trails Place, and those are C properties. Okay. So most of them C quality properties. Not really. We have one Frankfurt A. Now we didn't include. We've got 2 properties in Hawaii on Maui, 1 in Lake Tahoe. It didn't include Mercer or Mustang because those we just purchased, so I couldn't have a rent increase on that. And it doesn't include Iron Ranch development, but we'll go over these. But the actual numbers right here, actual rent per the leases, actual income that we actually collected, just so you know, this is November T12 versus November last year T12, because we don't have final numbers for December. 2023 income, $2,331,000. In our pro forma, adding those up, $2.2. So we're 6% over what we projected as far as our income. NOI, $1,050,000 and $1,158,000, 10% growth. So again, strong on all that. I'm a little mixed right now. I'm having a little feeling here because I want to do cartwheels. This is so good.
Well, I was going to ask you why.
And I'm looking out there going, yeah, so how come you didn't do 15? I know, shoot. These are incredible compared to the market. Good God, they're good. Yeah, it's the big checks you want to see at the end, but you got to have that growth in there, otherwise you're going backwards. Okay, now, the bad news about these numbers. Cap rates went way up, which lowers the value of the property. So even though our income all went up, the values came down a little bit because of the cap rates. And our debt, which is all fixed rate, so we didn't have any floaters. We took care of the couple that we had beginning of last year. And so we didn't have that risk of adjustable rate loans, higher mortgage payments, being upside down on that, cash calls, et cetera. Okay? So that is pretty flippin' outstanding.
But with the
There's no buts.
no,
Go
no,
ahead.
I was gonna say, but you said, but the incomes went down. However, since the income is up, once the cap rates come down,
Correct.
those values are gonna skyrocket.
Which is why we do longer term debt so that we can ride through these downturns. And it's the people that are forced to sell right now that are losing everything they
Why
can.
are they being forced to sell?
They're forced to sell because the loan expires, because they had a loan expiration now, which is like a bridge loan that if you did it 3 years ago, you're up, you have to sell.
Do we have any of those?
No.
No.
Well, actually, we do have a couple of bridge loans, but they've got still have extra time on them, and because they're banks, we can extend them, so we don't get locked into a CMBS or something or a big fund that can't. These are people we can go talk to for the few loans that we have at a bank, and then cash calls for interest rate cap insurance. People are having to raise money for that. There are properties that are upside down everywhere.
Higher debt, higher taxes, higher insurance, higher just
Yep.
about everything.
Everything. Okay.